Mordekaiser, the Iron Revenant. Mordekaiser is not just the most powerful character connected to Noxus, he is Noxus's foundation. Every powerful figure in the Empire lives in the shadow of the immortal bastion, because the true master of those stones is coming back. 1,000 years ago, Sanuzal was a warlord priest who crushed territories across Valoran through unprecedented cruelty, believing in the Hall of Bones, a glorious afterlife where warriors would feast forever. When death claimed him, he found the Mitna Rashnun instead, a silent gray wasteland, empty, nothing. The gods lied. Most souls despair and dissolve. Sanuzal refused. He conquered the gray waste through pure will, using lesser souls as bricks to build his palace. He mastered Ochnun, the language of the dead, binding spirits together, and forging a kingdom from nothingness. He tore himself back into existence as Mordekaiser, encased in night steel armor that drinks light and exhales dread. The second time, he refined everything. The immortal bastion was designed as a giant necromantic battery, channeling souls directly into the Mitna Rashnun. Modern Noxians don't understand. They're living inside his power source, waiting for their master to flip the switch. His mace Nightfall doesn't just kill, it captures. Every strike adds citizens to his eternal kingdom. He wasn't just building an empire, he was building an afterlife he controlled. A merger between life and death, ruling both realms simultaneously, eternally. Then LeBlanc betrayed him, whispering his binding rituals to enemies. The Black Rose banished him back to the Mitna Rashnun. Early Noxi tribes claimed the immortal bastion and built an empire on his foundation. But banishment isn't death. In the Mitna Rashnun, Mordekaiser adapted. Every soul that dies becomes his. Centuries to perfect necromancy, build armies, and prepare. His mastery of Ochnun is complete. Every syllable binds souls tighter. His magic can obliterate souls completely, removing them from any afterlife. Here's what makes Mordekaiser an inevitability. Every time a Noxian dies in battle, they potentially become a brick in Mordekaiser's fortress. Noxus expands borders in the living world, while Mordekaiser's empire grows in the dead one. They are conquering land for a king who hasn't even arrived yet. The return isn't a possibility, it's inevitable. The question isn't if, it's when. And when the Iron Revenant breaks free, he won't see an empire. He'll see squatters in his house using his fortress, claiming his legacy. Current Noxian leadership knows fragments. Swain has seen it through demonic visions. LeBlanc remembers betraying him and fears his return. Vladmir was there when it happened. They're preparing. None of them know if it's enough. Jericho's Swain. Swain is the man who outsmarted a god. He made a deal with a demon because he saw something in the future that terrified him, and he's been preparing ever since. He was a respected commander during Noxus's invasion of Ionia, but saw that Grand General Darkwill was destroying Noxus from within. During battle, Aurelia severed his left arm and left him for dead. Dying on foreign soil, Swain encountered Rom, the demon of secrets. Demons don't make deals, they make investments. The bargain costs him his humanity daily. Raum feeds on every secret Swain uncovers. In exchange, Swain gained total information dominance. His demonic arm extracts secrets directly from minds. Ravens fly everywhere, seeing everything. Through those ravens, Swain sees whispers of the dead. And they're terrified because Mordekaiser is coming. He doesn't just know what's happening, he sees potential futures, cascading consequences, catastrophic outcomes. This foresight drove him home. He gathered allies, including Darius, and executed a surgical coup against Darkwill. Then he seized absolute power and created a system to prevent it, the Triferix: vision, might, guile. Swain represents vision on the Council of Three, seeing threats decades before they arrive. Mordekaiser's inevitable return, the Void's expansion, Noxus's potential collapse without reform. In combat, he commands raven swarms and releases eldritch blasts, but his real weapon is information, knowing where you'll be and how to counter it before you think it. But there's a cost. Raum hungers constantly. He sees everyone's darkest secrets, every hidden fear, every betrayal. How do you trust anyone when you know their hidden thoughts? He knows the Black Rose exists and suspects the Pale Lady controls it. But moving against them destabilizes Noxus. So they dance. He limits their influence while they provide stability. The Triferics is an uncomfortable alliance. Swain's vision, Darius's ideal, LeBlanc's corruption, all serving Noxus while waiting for the others to slip. Swain is the only person truly pro-Noxus. He sacrificed his arm for knowledge, his reputation for an empire, and will sacrifice his soul to keep it standing. LeBlanc controls the past. Mordekaiser will control the future. Swain controls the present through perfect information. The question is whether his demon-fueled methods can save the world, or become the very threat he's trying to prevent. LeBlanc, the matriarch of the Black Rose. LeBlanc is the ghost in the machine. For thousands of years, she has been Noxus's puppet master. Her real name dissolved into myth. LeBlanc might be one immortal woman, or it might be a title passed down between deceivers. The ambiguity is the point. The Black Rose appears in every pivotal moment of Noxian history. Political upheavals, assassinations, power shifts, always the rose, never the hand that plants it. Now here's where it gets interesting. 1,000 years ago, Mordekaiser, the Iron Revenant, had conquered everything. LeBlanc didn't challenge him to combat. She joined him, learned his darkest secrets, earned his trust. Then she whispered his binding rituals to his enemies and banished him to the Mitna Rashnun. She handed the immortal bastion to the tribes that would eventually become Noxus. She didn't defeat Mordekaiser. She made others do it for her. But what drives LeBlanc now is fear. Fear of Mordekaiser coming back. Mordekaiser represents a force she cannot control. So she uses Noxus itself as a shield. Every political maneuver, every assassination, every secret war, designed to keep the Iron Revenant locked away. She betrayed a god once and built an empire from his ruins. And she will burn that empire to ashes before she lets him reclaim it. Her magic is deception incarnate. Perfect copies of herself make identifying the real LeBlanc nearly impossible. Flawless impersonation means she could be your most trusted advisor right now while planning your downfall. She doesn't just deceive people, she twists perception itself. The Black Rose extends everywhere. Nobles, military commanders, foreign agents, communicating through symbols, invisible to outsiders. She holds the faceless position on the Triferics, representing guile. She helped design Noxus's current government while keeping her involvement secret. Think about that. She built the system that governs an empire, and nobody knows. The Triferics dynamic is fascinating. Swain represents vision. Darius represents might. LeBlanc represents guile. They all serve Noxus, but each is waiting for the others to slip. Swain knows the Black Rose undermines his reforms. LeBlanc knows Swain's demon makes him unpredictable. Darius trusts neither, but needs both. It's a three-way Cold War at the top of an empire. After 1,000 years, what does she want? Some say she's preparing for Mordekaiser's return. Others claim she's playing a longer game only she comprehends. The scariest power in Runeterra isn't strength. It's making you believe you're free while you're dancing on her strings. Ambessa Medarda, the matriarch of war. Ambessa Medarda is survival forged into steel. She doesn't just navigate power, she commands it. Born from Noxian military tradition and Piltover industrial wealth, she rules House Medarda in a world where weakness means death. Her combat prowess defies mortal limits. She combines bone-shattering strength with untouchable speed, sidestepping multiple attackers before delivering killing strikes in heartbeats. But physical dominance is merely the foundation. Ambessa's true weapon is strategic reach. House Medarda controls influence in Piltover, Valoran's technological heart. While other Noxian warlords wield steel and magic, she commands advanced weaponry, industrial manufacturing, and trade networks spanning continents. She doesn't fight for glory, she fights for advantage. Every battle is investment. Every alliance is temporary. Every decision calculates risk versus reward. The Black Rose follows ancient plans spanning centuries. Ambessa operates differently, immediate, adaptable, ruthless. She adapts to whatever the situation demands, bending circumstances to her will through pure tactical genius. Like Darius, she represents the peak of human capability. No demonic pacts, no blood magic, no necromantic resurrection. She is powerful because of will, not because she's become something monstrous. In a world dominated by those who've transcended humanity through dark means, she proves that mortal determination still competes with the supernatural. She sacrificed comfort for strength, sentiment for strategy. She will sacrifice anything for House Medarda's survival. Ambessa demonstrates that true power is versatility. Darius, the Hand of Noxus. Darius is the embodiment of Noxian meritocracy. In a nation drowning in demons and deception, he reached the pinnacle through something radical, being human. No ancient magic, no immortal bloodline, no conspiracies, just an axe and the will to use it better than anyone alive. He was born in Basilich, a conquered city on Noxus's border. An orphan with nothing. The empire that destroyed his home became his home, because in Noxus, your birth means nothing. Your strength means everything. That's not philosophy. That's survival law written in blood. Now he represents might on the Triferix. When enemies see him on the battlefield, they know what's coming. A direct, unavoidable death. Darius doesn't command from war rooms. He leads from the front, executioner's axe in hand. That weapon has become Noxus's signature. When it falls, nations fall with it. In Ionia, he led the Trifarian Legion through campaigns that shattered veteran commanders. In the Freljord's frozen hell, he adapted tactics mid-battle, conquering terrain as hostile as the enemies defending it. He doesn't just win wars, he redefines what winning looks like. But here's what makes Darius different. He has principles. He genuinely believes in Noxian meritocracy. Anyone can rise through strength. He despises noble families claiming power through bloodlines. That's weakness wearing a crown. His brother Draven turned executions into arena spectacles. Darius hates it, but doesn't stop it. Why? Because Draven earned his position through combat skill. That's the meritocracy, even when uncomfortable. Here's what separates Darius from every other name on this list. He is the peak of human potential. While others have cheated humanity through blood magic, necromancy, demonic pacts, and ancient immortality, Darius achieved everything through pure, unaugmented will. No tricks, no shortcuts, no monstrosities, just a man who refused to be anything less than unstoppable. Swain sees futures with cold calculation. LeBlanc weaves illusions. Vladmir plays with blood across centuries. Darius, point him at your enemy. That enemy dies. In a nation of demons and ancient cabals, he's the counterweight, the known variable, the honest threat in a sea of deception. When Noxus's elaborate schemes collapse, when ancient magic fails, when political manipulation isn't enough, that's when they send Darius. Because some problems require a simpler solution. Vladmir, the Crimson Reaper. Vladmir is one of the oldest beings still walking Runeterra. His story begins in Kamavor, the same cursed kingdom that birthed Viego, the Ruined King. Born into royalty, Vladmir was traded as a hostage to the Darkin during the Great Darkin War. That decision would haunt the world for millennia. The Darkin were fallen god warriors from ancient Shurima. Under their tutelage, Vladmir became their student, learning hemomancy, blood magic. He didn't just learn the magic, he perfected it, achieving true biological immortality by replacing his own cells with stolen vitality from others. After escaping the Darkin, Vladmir became a founding member of the Black Rose alongside LeBlanc. While she manipulates politics through deception, Vladmir ensures the organization's longevity through blood rituals. Together, they orchestrated the downfall of Mordekaiser over a millennium ago, then helped establish modern Noxus from the ashes. He positions himself as a patron of nobility throwing lavish parties where wine flows, except Vladimir has never tasted wine. The crimson in his glass is always something darker, warmer, more vital. In combat, Vladimir's power is horrifying. He drains blood from multiple enemies simultaneously, reducing them to withered husks. While he grows stronger, he can dissolve into a pool of blood and reform elsewhere. He boils blood inside victims from across battlefields. It was Vladimir who placed the bloodstone in Sion's chest, binding the dead hero to eternal service. But here's what makes Vladimir truly terrifying, is his complete lack of higher purpose. He sacrificed his humanity for power, morality for immortality, and will sacrifice anyone for his amusement. Politics are theater. Wars are comedy. Lives are resources. After 1,000 years, he's seen empires rise and fall, philosophies come and go, revolutions fail and repeat. He serves no vision, no ideal, no grand plan. He serves only his own amusement. To Vladimir, you're not a person. You're just another pattern he's already seen 100 times before. Vladimir has cheated humanity itself. While others fight for Noxus's future, he reminds us, some powers don't care about nations or ideals. They've outlived hundreds of both. Sion, the undead juggernaut. Sion is the tragedy of service. He is what happens when Noxus decides that even death doesn't end your duty to the Empire. Before Noxus was an empire, Sion was already a legend. A tribal warrior who embodied pure, unbreakable brutality. No politics, no magic, just strength that refused to yield. His defining moment came at the gates of the Damascene capital. King Jarvan I faced him in single combat. The king's blade pierced Sion's chest, a killing blow that stopped his heart. Sion didn't have time for death. With his body riddled with Damascene steel, with his heart already stopped, he wrapped both hands around Jarvan I's throat and squeezed. The king died first. Only then did Sion allow the darkness to take him. He died a hero's death. But in Noxus, a hero's death is just the beginning of service. For centuries, he rested in honor. Then the Black Rose, LeBlanc, and Vladimir decided heroes could serve better as weapons. They didn't bring back the man. They brought back the hunger. Vladimir and LeBlanc jammed a bloodstone into his chest, the only thing keeping his corpse animated. They fueled his veins with alchemical fire. What emerged? 9 feet of rotting muscle, held together by rusted plates, that screech with every movement. The bloodstone pulses like a corrupted heart, pumping liquid rage through dead veins. He's kept in perpetual agony because only pain keeps him focused on slaughter. And here's the ultimate Noxian statement. The crown of King Jarvan I now serves as Sion's prosthetic jaw. Noxus takes your symbols and makes them tools. Modern Sion doesn't fight battles. He ends them. Armies scatter in pure terror from the walking furnace of rage. Noxus doesn't deploy Sion to conquer. They deploy him to punish. But here's the horror. There's only one moment Sion feels peace. The split second between a kill and the next surge of bloodlust. That silence. Then the bloodstone pulses. The rage floods back. Sometimes fragments of the old warrior surface. Memories of honor. Brothers in arms. Then it drowns again, beneath the bloodlust. While Mordekaiser is the master of souls, Sion is Noxus's weapon of flesh. Sion is a mindless, screaming testament to the Empire's philosophy. You serve Noxus in life, in death, and in every twisted form.